Picture this. You're standing at just 5'3", surrounded by towering giants who dominate the game of basketball. No one expects you to survive, let alone thrive on the court. But against all odds, you do. This is the story of Muggsy Bogues, the shortest player to ever step foot in the NBA. Despite his height, he became a legendary figure, outplaying opponents twice his size with sheer speed, incredible court vision, and a defensive tenacity that left even the biggest players in the dust. So, how did Muggsy Bogues achieve the impossible? How did he defy the odds to become a giant in the NBA? Stick around to uncover the secrets of his success, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite Muggsy Bogues moments in the comments. Tyrone Curtis Muggsy Bogues was born on January 9, 1965, in East Baltimore, Maryland, a place where the challenges of life came fast and hard. Bogues grew up in the Lafayette Court housing projects, a neighborhood plagued by violence, drugs, and crime. From a young age, Muggsy was surrounded by adversity. His father was incarcerated when he was just 12 years old, leaving his family to struggle without a father figure. But instead of succumbing to his environment, Muggsy found solace on the basketball court. From the moment he picked up a basketball, it was clear Muggsy had a special kind of tenacity. Standing shorter than everyone else on the court, he knew he'd have to compensate for his height with something else: grit. Every time he played, he was underestimated. People saw his height and laughed him off, but Muggsy was undeterred. He worked harder than anyone else, pushing himself to become faster, stronger, and smarter on the court. Muggsy's mother, Elaine Bogues, was a significant influence on him, teaching him about resilience and the importance of hard work. She kept Muggsy grounded despite the turmoil surrounding them. Even though he was often teased and doubted because of his height, his mother's unwavering support fueled his drive. He realized that basketball wasn't just a sport, it was his ticket out of the streets. Baltimore's streetball scene was tough, and the playgrounds became Muggsy's proving ground. Known for his lightning-fast speed, he began to dominate games despite his size. He wasn't just surviving, he was excelling. Other players couldn't keep up with his pace or his incredibly sharp defensive skills. Muggsy had a unique gift, his ability to anticipate plays and outthink opponents, always one step ahead. At just 5'3", Muggsy faced an uphill battle, but he had something that couldn't be measured by height. Heart. It was here on these tough streets that Muggsy developed the toughness that would carry him through his entire basketball career. He knew if he wanted to make it big, he would have to silence every critic who ever doubted him. Muggsy's talent didn't go unnoticed for long. By the time he reached high school, he had earned a reputation as one of Baltimore's toughest and most talented players. He enrolled at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, a school with one of the nation's most famous basketball programs. Dunbar was a powerhouse, home to future NBA stars like David Wingate, Reggie Williams, and Reggie Lewis. It was a team loaded with talent, but even among those giants, Muggsy stood out. Under the guidance of legendary coach Bob Wade, Muggsy became an integral part of a team that would go down in history. Between 1981 and 1983, the Dunbar Poets dominated high school basketball, amassing an incredible 59-game winning streak. They were consistently ranked as the #1 high school team in the nation, and Muggsy was at the heart of it all. Despite being the shortest player on the team by far, Muggsy was the team's floor general. He ran the offense with precision, his sharp passes threading through defenders, setting up his teammates for easy buckets. His defensive prowess, especially his ability to steal the ball, frustrated opponents, many of whom were nearly defeat taller than him. His speed and relentless energy made him a nightmare for opposing teams. At times, it seemed like Muggsy had eyes in the back of his head. He saw the court in ways others couldn't, always one step ahead of everyone else. Dunbar's 1982-83 team is still considered one of the best high school teams ever assembled. Muggsy's leadership and talent earned him widespread attention, and scouts from top colleges were taking notice. He wasn't just a novelty act because of his height, he was the real deal. By the time he graduated, Muggsy had made a name for himself as one of the best high school point guards in the country. The question remained, could Muggsy's success at the high school level translate to college? Many doubted whether a 5'3" player could compete at the next level, but Muggsy was determined to prove them wrong. He had heard the skeptics before, and he was about to silence them once again. In 1983, Muggsy accepted a scholarship to play basketball at Wake Forest University, a member of the prestigious Atlantic Coast Conference (ACC). While many questioned whether Muggsy could handle the rigors of college basketball, especially in a conference filled with elite talent, Muggsy was ready to prove that height was just a number. At Wake Forest, Muggsy became an immediate impact player. His quickness and ability to run the offense allowed him to excel, even against taller and more physically imposing players. He was a true floor general, controlling the pace of the game and making sure his teammates were always in the right position. He had an uncanny ability to see the play before it developed, a skill that made him a nightmare for defenders. Muggsy's defense was perhaps his most remarkable asset. Despite being one of the shortest players on the court, he consistently led the ACC in steals. His quick hands and low center of gravity made it incredibly difficult for opponents to get past him. He was everywhere at once, disrupting plays and forcing turnovers. By the time he left Wake Forest, Muggsy had set the ACC record for assists 781 and steals to 175, records that stood for many years. Muggsy's leadership on and off the court was also undeniable. He became the heart and soul of the Wake Forest team, earning the respect of his teammates and coaches. He wasn't just surviving in the ACC, he was thriving, proving that his size didn't limit his ability to impact the game. One of the defining moments of Muggsy's college career came when he faced off against future NBA Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing, who stood at 7 feet 0. The image of 5 feet 3 inches Muggsy guarding the towering Ewing became iconic, symbolizing everything Muggsy stood for: fearlessness, determination, and the belief that no obstacle was too big to overcome. By the end of his college career, Muggsy had established himself as one of the top point guards in the country. But the NBA was a whole different level. Could a 5'3" player really make it in a league dominated by giants? In 1987, Muggsy Bogues declared for the NBA draft. Despite his success at Wake Forest, many still doubted whether he could survive in the NBA. After all, the league was filled with towering athletes, and Muggsy was only 5 feet 3. But Muggsy's determination and talent were undeniable, and on draft night, the Washington Bullets selected him 12th overall, making him the shortest player ever drafted into the NBA. Muggsy's rookie season with the Bullets was filled with challenges. The speed and physicality of the NBA were unlike anything he had faced before. But Muggsy adapted quickly. He immediately became a fan favorite, known for his fearless play and relentless energy. He may have been the shortest player on the court, but he had the biggest heart. Despite showing flashes of brilliance, Muggsy's time with the Bullets was short-lived. After just one season, he was left unprotected in the 1988 NBA expansion draft. Many thought this might be the end of Muggsy's NBA career, but in reality, it was just the beginning. The newly formed Charlotte Hornets selected Muggsy in the expansion draft, and it was in Charlotte where he would truly make his mark. With the Hornets, Muggsy became the face of the franchise, helping to build the team from the ground up. His leadership, defensive tenacity, and ability to make everyone around him better made him an invaluable asset. One of Muggsy's defining traits was his unshakable confidence. Despite being surrounded by players much taller than him, Muggsy never backed down. He thrived on proving people wrong, and his time with the Hornets became the most successful period of his career. When Muggsy joined the Charlotte Hornets, they were a brand new franchise looking to make their mark in the NBA. For the next 10 seasons, Muggsy became the engine that powered the Hornets' fast-paced, exciting style of play. His chemistry with teammates like Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning turned the Hornets into a legitimate playoff contender. Muggsy's ability to distribute the ball and run the offense made him one of the best point guards in the league. He consistently ranked among the league leaders in assists and steals, using his speed and court vision to pick apart opposing defenses. His height, which many saw as a disadvantage, actually became an asset. Muggsy's low center of gravity made him incredibly difficult to guard, and his quickness allowed him to blow past defenders with ease. During the 1993 playoffs, Muggsy delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career. The Hornets faced the Boston Celtics in the first round, and thanks to Muggsy's leadership and defense, the Hornets pulled off a stunning upset, defeating the Celtics in 4 games. It was the first playoff series win in the Hornets' history, and Muggsy was at the center of it all. Off the court, Muggsy became a fan favorite not just in Charlotte, but across the NBA. His personality, humility, and perseverance made him one of the most beloved players in the league. Fans admired him not just for his basketball skills, but for his ability to overcome the odds and prove that size doesn't determine success. Muggsy's time with the Hornets solidified his place in NBA history. He became the franchise's all-time leader in assists and steals, and his jersey is still a symbol of the heart and soul he brought to the team. Even though he stood at just 5'3", Muggsy played with the determination of a giant. After leaving the Hornets, Muggsy spent time with the Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, and Dallas Mavericks before retiring in 2001. While his career may not have ended with the same level of fanfare as his time in Charlotte, Muggsy's impact on the game was undeniable. He proved that height doesn't define a player's potential, and his legacy continues to inspire athletes to this day. Beyond basketball, Muggsy became a mentor and role model for young players. sharing his story of overcoming obstacles and teaching the next generation the importance of hard work, dedication, and self-belief. He has worked as a coach, a motivational speaker, and even authored an autobiography, In the Land of Giants, where he detailed his incredible journey from the streets of Baltimore to the NBA. In the years since his retirement, Muggsy has remained active in the basketball community, working with various youth programs and coaching at the professional level. His legacy is one of perseverance, determination, and the belief that no dream is too big to achieve. And there you have it, the unbelievable journey of Muggsy Bogues, a player who redefined what it means to succeed in the NBA. He may have been the shortest player in league history, but his heart, determination, and skills made him a giant on the court. If this story inspired you as much as it inspired me, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible basketball stories, and leave a comment with your favorite Muggsy moment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.